Every morning, millions of men over 60 unknowingly sabotage their erections before they've even finished breakfast. Not with sugar, not with bacon, but with tea. Yes, tea. The very drink that's marketed as healthy, heart-friendly, and soothing might be the silent destroyer of your vitality, your testosterone, and your manhood. I'm Dr. Mohit Kara. I've spent over 30 years helping men just like you reclaim their sexual health and dignity. And today, I'm sounding the alarm on something no one is talking about. The 7 T's that quietly erode your performance, lower your hormone levels, damage your circulation, and dull your ability to feel alive in your own body. You've probably been told these teas are good for you. You may even drink them daily, believing they support your digestion, weight, or inflammation. But hidden beneath those claims is a hormonal paradox, one that's especially dangerous for men over 60. In the next few minutes, you'll discover exactly which 7 teas you must stop drinking, starting tomorrow morning, if you want to restore blood flow, balance your hormones, and revive the intimate power you thought was gone. And don't go anywhere, because number 6 on the list is the most surprising of all. It's a tea most men believe is completely safe, when in reality, it could be killing your erections from the inside out. Before we dive in, if you care about protecting your health, energy, and performance after 60, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you never miss a doctor-backed tip designed just for you. And if this video speaks to you, type 1 in the comments. If it doesn't, type 0. I'm here to listen and improve for you. Let's get straight to it. The first tea on our list might surprise you because it's often marketed as soothing and natural. But for men over 60, it can quietly shut down your testosterone and rob you of your vitality. I'm talking about licorice root tea. T1. Licorice root tea, the testosterone killer. I still remember the first time a patient came to me, puzzled and frustrated. He was doing everything right, eating clean, staying active, trying herbal teas instead of coffee, and yet his energy was low, his sex drive had vanished, and morning erections were a thing of the past. When we dug deeper into his routine, the answer was hiding in his favorite mug, licorice root tea. Now, I know that sounds surprising. Licorice is often praised as a natural remedy for digestion, sore throats, and inflammation. But what most men don't know is that licorice root contains a compound called glycyrrhizin. And glycyrrhizin can do something dangerous for men, especially those over 60. It lowers testosterone, fast. In fact, studies have shown that just 1 week of licorice root consumption can drop your testosterone levels by more than 25%. That's not just a little dip. That's the hormonal equivalent of slamming the brakes on your manhood. And the worst part? Most men don't feel it happening until it's too late. They just slowly notice their edge disappearing, their desire, their strength, their confidence. What makes this even more frustrating is how innocent it seems. You're told it's natural. You believe you're making a better choice, but your body tells a different story. If you're over 60 and drinking licorice tea daily, you could be blocking the very hormone that drives your vitality. And licorice is just the beginning. The next tea on this list is even more deceptive because it's known for calming your body. But what if it's also quietly shutting down your passion? Let's talk about it. T2. Peppermint tea, cooling you down. Too much. There's something comforting about a warm cup of peppermint tea. It's the kind of drink that seems harmless, even helpful, especially if you've had a heavy meal or a stressful day. I get it. I used to enjoy a cup myself in the evenings. It smells fresh, feels light, and has that soothing, cooling effect that makes you think you're doing something good for your body. But the truth is, for men over 60, that same cooling effect might be cooling down more than just your digestion. I began to notice a pattern years ago when men came into my office reporting low libido, lack of morning arousal, and a general sense of disconnect from their masculinity. They were calm, yes, but too calm, almost detached. And guess what? Peppermint tea showed up again and again in their daily habits. Science backs this up. Peppermint has been shown to suppress levels of luteinizing hormone, a hormone your brain needs to signal your testicles to produce testosterone. Without that signal, testosterone production slows down. And when testosterone slows down, everything changes. Your mood, your muscle tone, your stamina, and yes, your erections. It doesn't happen overnight. That's what makes it so dangerous. You sip it daily, thinking it's helping, when all the while, it's quietly dialing down the very fire that makes you feel like yourself. Now, if peppermint tea is something you drink every night to wind down, it might be time to rethink that habit. And if you thought peppermint was surprising, wait until you hear about the next one. It's one of the most widely consumed teas in the world, and it's quietly squeezing the life out of your circulation. Tea. 3. Black tea. The hidden stimulant. Sabotage. Black tea is one of those drinks that feels timeless. It's familiar, it's part of tradition. Maybe you grew up seeing your father drink it every morning. Maybe it replaced coffee for you when you started cutting back on caffeine. I've had many men sit across from me, proudly explaining how they gave up the heavy stuff and switched to black tea for their heart health. And I always admire that effort, but then I ask them how their energy is holding up, how their mornings have felt lately. And more often than not, they pause. You see, black tea carries a quiet problem, especially for men over 60. It's not just the caffeine, though that's part of it. It's the combination of caffeine and tannins that can lead to constricted blood vessels and reduced blood flow, particularly where it matters most. Erections are all about circulation, and when blood flow is limited, so is performance. But that's not all. Black tea can interfere with magnesium absorption, a critical mineral for healthy testosterone levels and vascular health. And over time, the caffeine can subtly raise cortisol, the stress hormone. Elevated cortisol can suppress testosterone, reduce nitric oxide, and leave you feeling worn out and disconnected from your body. I've had patients tell me they thought they were doing the right thing by switching to tea, and I don't blame them. But when your morning drink slowly chips away at your hormone balance and blood flow, it's no longer a safer choice. It's a hidden trap. Still, even black tea doesn't compare to what's next. There's a category of tea that promises to cleanse your body, but in reality, it might be stripping away the very nutrients and hormones your body needs to function. Let's talk about that next. Tea. 4. Detox teas. A scam that's wrecking your gut and hormones. If I had $1 for every man who told me he was drinking a detox tea to feel healthier, I'd be able to buy every misleading product off the shelf just to keep them out of your kitchen. I understand why it's appealing. The promise of cleansing your system, losing a little weight, feeling lighter, it sounds like something we all need, especially as we get older. But what most men don't realize is that these so-called detox teas are not healing your body. They're quietly hurting it. I remember one patient in particular, a retired fireman, tough as nails. He started drinking detox teas every morning because the label promised better digestion and energy. But over time, he noticed he was more fatigued, less focused, and worst of all, his sex drive had practically disappeared. He thought it was just age catching up with him. But when we looked closer, the tea was the culprit. Most detox teas are loaded with harsh herbs like senna or dandelion, which act as diuretics and laxatives. That might make you feel lighter, but it comes at a cost: dehydration, electrolyte loss, and gut irritation. And your gut isn't just about digestion, it plays a key role in hormone regulation. When your gut is inflamed or stripped of nutrients, your testosterone takes a hit, your nitric oxide drops, and everything from your energy to your erections starts to decline. The worst part? These teas are marketed as safe, even beneficial, but the long-term effect is the opposite of detox. It's depletion. And if you think soy only matters in tofu or protein bars, the next tea on our list will surprise you. Because it's not just what's in the cup, it's how it mimics a hormone that can slowly steal your masculinity. Let's take a closer look. Tea. 5. Soy-based herbal teas. Estrogen overload. This one hits close to home for many of the men I've worked with over the years. They've done their best to live clean, cutting down on red meat, avoiding sugar, switching to plant-based options. So when a tea blend with soy in it appears on the shelf, labeled as heart healthy or good for aging, they don't hesitate. It sounds like the right move, but for men over 60, it can quietly shift your entire hormonal foundation in the wrong direction. Soy contains compounds called phytoestrogens, plant-based chemicals that mimic estrogen in the body. And here's the thing, your body already changes how it handles hormones as you age. Testosterone drops gradually, and estrogen becomes more dominant if you're not careful. Add in daily exposure to soy-based teas, and you start tipping that scale even further. The result? Less muscle, more belly fat, lower drive, and softer erections. I had one gentleman in his early 70s come to me, frustrated. He was eating right, walking every day, and drinking what he thought were healthy herbal teas. But something felt off. He'd gained weight around his midsection, his libido had faded, and he didn't feel like himself anymore. We reviewed everything, and there it was, hiding in plain sight. Soy-based teas, twice a day, every day. It's easy to miss because soy doesn't always scream from the label. Sometimes it shows up as soy lecithin, soy protein, or isoflavones, but your body reacts just the same. More estrogen, less testosterone, and a slow, steady drain on your sexual performance. Now, if that sounds concerning, just wait. The next tea is one most people consider healthy. Some even call it a super tea. But for men over 60, it can actually disrupt your liver, suppress key hormones, and quietly undermine your performance. Let's talk about it next. Tea. 6. Matcha green tea. Not as safe as you think. Matcha has become something of a health craze lately. You see it in smoothies, lattes, and wellness blogs claiming it's a superfood that fights aging and boosts energy. And sure, matcha is rich in antioxidants, but as I often tell my patients, more isn't always better, especially when you're over 60. One of my longtime patients, George, came to me proudly explaining how he'd replaced coffee with matcha after reading an article on its benefits. But what he didn't expect was the sudden drop in his energy, the fog in his thinking, and the complete disappearance of his morning erections. It turns out, matcha in high concentrations may do more harm than good. It's packed with EGCG, epigallocatechin galate, a powerful antioxidant, yes, but in large amounts, it can interfere with liver enzymes and even reduce thyroid activity. And when your thyroid slows down, so does your metabolism, your testosterone, and your drive. It's all connected. And let's not forget the caffeine. Many older men assume matcha is mild because it's green tea, but matcha is far more concentrated. For someone sensitive to caffeine or already struggling with high blood pressure or anxiety, that added jolt can constrict blood vessels and reduce nitric oxide, essential for blood flow and erections. George had no idea. He thought he was making a smart choice. And that's what makes matcha so tricky. It wears a healthy label, but beneath the surface, it can quietly erode the very systems that support your vitality. And if you thought matcha was misleading, wait until we talk about the last one. It's a tea that's warm, flavorful, and comforting. But inside your body, it's creating a perfect storm that drains your energy and shuts down performance. Let's take a closer look. Tea. 7. Chai tea. The spicy saboteur. Chai tea has a certain charm to it. It's warm, spiced, and full of flavor. It brings back memories for many, sitting by the window on a cool morning, holding a mug that feels more like comfort than caffeine. I've had patients tell me chai makes them feel alive, grounded, even peaceful. But unfortunately, that peace can come at a price for men over 60. Most people don't realize that traditional chai isn't just tea. It's a blend of black tea, milk, sugar, and spices. And while each of those ingredients might seem harmless on its own, together they create a storm inside the aging male body. The black tea constricts blood vessels and raises cortisol. The added sugar spikes insulin, increases inflammation, and chips away at testosterone. And the dairy? It can trigger hormonal disruptions and even elevate estrogen in some men. Add in spices like cardamom or clove, which may have mild estrogenic effects when overused, and suddenly that soothing cup becomes a hormonal sabotage. I remember one man in his mid-60s who loved his chai routine. Every morning, rain or shine. But when we talked about his recent drop in sexual performance and energy, it didn't take long to identify the problem. Chai was his comfort, but it was also stealing his vitality in the background. These are the kinds of habits that feel good emotionally but slowly wear us down physically. And that's what makes them so dangerous. They don't feel like bad choices until the consequences show up. But now that we've uncovered these 7 harmful teas, the big question becomes, what should you be drinking instead? Because the right teas can actually restore blood flow, improve hormone balance, and help you feel strong again. Let me show you what those are. 8. What you need to do today. By now, you might be feeling a mix of surprise and frustration. And honestly, that's a good thing. It means you care. It means you're paying attention. Most men don't. They keep drinking the same teas every morning, trusting the labels, never realizing that what they believe is helping them could actually be quietly eroding their strength, their desire, and their confidence. I've seen it too many times. A man walks into my office tired, discouraged, and convinced that aging has just taken its toll. But after a few questions about sleep, stress, and morning habits, we discover something as simple as a tea he drinks daily might be part of the problem. That's both the bad news and the good news, because it means change is possible. It means this is something you can fix. So here's what I want you to do today. Go to your kitchen. Pull out every tea box, every blend, every label. Look closely for words like licorice, peppermint, black tea, soy, detox, chai, or matcha. If you see them, set them aside. Those teas might be draining your hormones, restricting your blood flow, and holding you back from the intimacy and energy you deserve. Then, make a choice to shift. Start exploring teas that support your body after 60, teas that help you feel awake, alive, and fully present in your own skin again. And don't wait for the damage to build up. The sooner you make the change, the sooner your body will respond. But which teas are safe? Which ones actually help support erections, energy, and circulation, especially in older men? That's what I'm going to share with you next. And trust me, these aren't just healthy, they're powerful. Let's take a look. Conclusion. If you've made it this far, I want to thank you, not just for watching, but for caring enough about your health to question what's been sold to you as good. That takes courage. And for men over 60, that kind of awareness is everything. We've covered a lot. 7 teas that seem harmless, even healthy, but can quietly undermine your hormones, circulation, and vitality. I've seen it firsthand with patients who were doing all the right things, eating clean, exercising, managing stress, yet still struggling with fatigue, low libido, and weaker erections. And when we looked closer, the problem was hiding in their cup. Licorice root, peppermint, black tea, detox blends, soy-based teas, matcha, and chai, all of them sound fine on the surface. But if you're not careful, they can pull your testosterone down, restrict blood flow, and tip your hormones out of balance. The damage doesn't happen overnight. It's slow, subtle, and easy to blame on aging. But aging isn't the enemy. Ignorance is. And the beautiful part is this. Now you know. Now you can walk into your kitchen, your grocery store, or your daily routine with a clearer eye. You have the power to choose better, to protect your body from quiet sabotage, and to restore the strength that still lives inside you. I want you to remember that your health, your manhood, your energy, they're not gone. They're waiting for you to take the right steps. Small changes, like switching your tea, can create a ripple effect that transforms everything else. So don't stop here. Keep going. Keep learning. In future videos, I'll be showing you the exact teas, foods, and habits that can naturally boost your testosterone, revive your drive, and help you feel like yourself again, strong, steady, and fully alive. If this video helped you or opened your eyes to something new, please take a moment to like, share it with another man who needs to hear this, and leave a comment below. Let me know what surprised you most. And if you'd like to support this channel so I can keep creating honest, empowering health content just for you, consider making a small donation. Every bit helps, and I'm truly grateful for your trust.